Hi everyone, Greg Marchand here. Welcome to another episode of the Virtual Instructor-Led Training Program brought to you by the Service Sales Academy. In this episode, I want to talk to you about creating a quality control program for your organization. I say in class and I say in these videos a lot, quality is everything. You can spend dollar after dollar after dollar attracting new customers to your organization, and unless you have quality, you're just going to keep spending money because you'll never keep those new customers. Every shop, in my opinion, every shop should have a formal, documented, reviewed quality control process. And that quality control process should include a signature. Without quality, you've got nothing. And a lot of shops they'll tell me how they have quality. They'll tell me, we do good work. I know we do good work. And even the really good shops that I work with, I can tell you, yeah, most of the time you do. And most of you have a quality control process, but you don't monitor the quality control process. You don't even know if your quality control process is working because you don't track comebacks. I've watched comebacks. I've watched customers get to the parking lot and have to come back in because of something. I've watched them drive away and come back 5 minutes later. I've seen them come back a week later with a huge problem. And you had a quality control process. So what I want to talk to you about is how you modify or implement, if you don't have one, a quality control process that's going to get the job done, that's going to ensure every customer whose vehicle you work on trusts you. If you have a formal program, you can create accountability. And if you have a formal program, when things do go wrong, it's easier to identify where they went wrong. In other words, if we have a comeback, I can then say to you, okay, I get why it came back, but now I want to know, why didn't our quality control process catch that? Our quality control process should have caught that. That was pretty simple. That was really simple. The oil fell out of that engine, and it didn't fall out slowly. It fell out pretty fast. So why did our quality control process not catch that problem? I have a formal program. I introduced it formally. Everybody signed off saying they knew what it was. They all should know what the process is. And they put their signatures on it. Now when something goes wrong, I can create even more accountability and I can make the program even stronger. If we have a formal program too, I can market the program to customers. Who does that? Look, the analogy I use in class, you go buy a $15 pair of jeans and you reach in the pocket and you pull out a little piece of paper that says, quality inspected by whatever, number 63. Well, I paid $15 and I had a little tag saying that somebody inspected this, number 63. Shouldn't a $1,200 repair come with that? It really should, right? Well, if we have a program, then we can tell customers about it. And we can let customers know, hey, we take enough pride in our work. We have 2 people signing off that we fixed your car and we fixed your car right. We also have a document, assuming it's a formal documented program, that we can use for new hire training, right? And a formal program will always catch the things that never should become a problem, all right? Are things going to happen? Yeah, they're going to happen, and you know that. We've been in the business long enough. Things do happen, unfortunately. But we don't want the little things becoming big things. And a formal quality control program should be good enough that it catches all those little things, and then we only got to deal with the other stuff that might fall through the cracks. Okay? So I want you to have a formal program. Now, when you're creating the program, there shouldn't be 1 or 2 people doing this. It should be the entire organization doing this. And there's many reasons for this. The biggest reason for me is if you gather everybody's input, they will help you create successful process because they're bought in. All right. If I write something up and I slap it down in front of you and say, here, sign this, this is what you got to do. That's not warm and fuzzy for 1. I didn't get any say in it for 2, and I'm not really fully bought in. And so it's going to take a little while longer for me to buy in and make this program a success. But if we all sat down and I felt like I gave you my input and you listened to my input, then and I had a stake in this, then all of a sudden the process is mine. And it's yours, and it's hers, and it's his, and we all have a stake in it now because we all were allowed to give our input to it. So bring the idea up and let the group help decide the process, even if it's not perfect. I don't care if it's perfect. I care that everybody contribute to the process first, and we get it implemented, and then we can make improvements to it. Do you want to give them a core, here's kind of what I'm thinking? Sure, let them watch this video. Let them all watch this video and then say, hey, all right, so that's what this dude says we should do. What do you guys think? And create your own, but get everybody's input so we have buy-in. And once you have buy-in, you also have way more accountability. All right? Now, here's what I think the program should be. So even if you just want to use this 30-second spiel on this one slide, go ahead and use that to show everybody and start getting their input. Ultimately, the technician has to be responsible for quality. I do not ever want a technician thinking that, hey, I do my job and then that person over there quality controls it. So they'll catch anything I miss. I don't ever want that thought. I want a culture of accountability and responsibility within my organization, and that starts at the technician level with a technician quality controlling their own work. More on that in a second. I want a second set of eyes on the vehicle. So once the technician says, yep, it's good, it's perfect, we're done, it goes to a second person to catch anything that this technician's eyes might have missed. And then I want everybody road testing it. I'll have more to say about a road test in a minute, and it says here, road test where practical. I understand fully that in some metro areas, road tests are a challenge. But my take is really every vehicle, every time. Every vehicle, every time. I want to know if I didn't tighten something down and I got a rattle now. I want to know if I didn't get the oil filter tight and I got a leak, or I double gasketed it, or I left the oil cap off, or I want the wheel rattling loose on me and not on the customer. See, if we don't road test tire rotation, I don't road test it as a technician, you don't road test it as a quality control individual, the customer's going to go road test it. Ruh-roh. I don't want that. Okay? So I want the technician ultimately responsible. I want a second set of eyes on the vehicle. I want a road test done. More on that in a second. And I want both people, not just the second person, I want both people to sign off that that vehicle was inspected. All right? In terms of technicians, the culture of the organization should be one of production with quality. We need production because that's where our money comes from, right? We talk about that again and again and again in these programs. We need high levels of production. But production without quality is self-defeating. We need production with quality, and that begins with the technicians. But we have to hold them accountable. We need to encourage, mentor, and coach technicians to inspect their own work. Inspect their own. Some of you, it's really intuitive. Some of you will do a job and then you'll go, okay, did I get X, Y, Z? Great. But for some people, it's not. It's not real intuitive. And we all make mistakes. But if we can eliminate some of those mistakes by coaching a technician, listen, when you're done with an oil change, check these 4 things. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just get in your head, number 4, oil change number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Something simple like that. Just teach them little cues. Because it's not about being perfect 100% of the time. It's about being perfect 90% of the time, and then the next person will catch the other 10%. All right? Or they'll catch the other 9% and we only deal with 1% comebacks. We're not perfect, and I totally get that. We want to be, some of our organizations want to be, but we're not. Stuff's going to happen. All right, but we want to build that culture with the technicians, that every technician inspects their own work. And they hold themselves accountable. Look, for most technicians, they have a lot of pride. And they will hold themselves accountable. And I'd say for 80 to 90% of technicians out there, they get a comeback, they're embarrassed, they're upset. But those other 10 to 20%, they have excuses. Or it doesn't seem to bother them. Water off a duck's back. Those are the ones we need to coach. Okay? Every technician should learn to hold themselves accountable. And here's the thing. You're not going to be able to do that unless you track comebacks. Track your comebacks. We talk about comebacks, and most of your service management systems can track comebacks. And you can change the definition sometimes in the system. But I'm shocked at how few people actually run the report. I'm shocked at how many shops don't track comebacks. I want to know. Because, hey, I'm not going to pay my technician for a comeback. Others will pay him for the comeback, but they're not going to pay him to redo the work. I get that. I want to know if we have comebacks because I want to know if my quality control program's working. And if I have comebacks, I know it's not working. Okay? So let's get the technicians to be firstly accountable to quality control. And let's track our comebacks so we know if our system's working and we know if our technicians are actually being accountable. Now, who's that second individual, that second set of eyes? Shop foreman would be awesome if you have one, and most of you don't and you won't. That's just the fact of your business and our lives. If you have a technician who is really intelligent, been around for a long time, just can't produce anymore, or has a back problem or whatever it might be and can't physically do the work anymore, awesome. Make them shop foreman. They're in charge of developing a training program, of maybe dispatching work, of mentoring, of coaching, of the quality control process. Okay? Cool. Maybe you hire a dedicated quality control individual. This is even harder. This is even harder. But maybe you have that individual that, they're gonna shuttle some customers and they're gonna run and get some parts, and they're gonna QC the vehicles too. Okay, is it awesome? Nah, not really. Does it work? Sure, it works for some. Maybe a service advisor is gonna go do it. Ooh, not my favorite, but look, for some of you, that's the way it has to be. We only have so many people in our organization. Maybe it's another technician. Maybe we're gonna have a buddy system. I've seen a buddy system before. You check my wheel torque, I check your wheel torque. I quality control your oil changes, you quality control mine. Does it take time out of my day to check your stuff? Yeah, it does. And it's not awesome from a productivity standpoint. But hey, you know what? That's all we have. So we're going to enforce that, and that's what we're going to do. How long that second look takes, and we'll come back to the who's doing it in just a second. How long it takes is really going to depend on the job, right? And so the exact responsibilities of that second set of eyes is going to completely depend on the job. If it's an oil change, it's going to be quick. If it's a head gasket job, it's going to take longer. And so what this person's actually going to do will depend on that job. Maybe I'm just going to review what you did. Maybe it was a transmission fluid exchange. All right, so everything went well with it. You didn't have any problem with the fittings. All the plugs are back in, fill plugs back in, drain plugs back in, new gaskets on it, right? Okay, did you drive it? It shifts okay. So if I go drive it, it's going to shift okay. Maybe it's just a review of the work performed. Maybe I'm actually going to put it in the air and put a wrench on stuff. Maybe this individual that did the job, they've got a history of leaving things loose, and I'm actually going to go in there. Maybe it's a brake job, and I'm going to put a wrench on the caliper bolts just to make sure, because you never know. It's not that I don't trust you, it's that my job is quality control, so I'm going to quality control. Maybe I just put eyes on it. I pop the hood, I make sure the fill cap is on the oil, I make sure that we clean the engine, I make sure the fluids are full, the ones that I can see, I make sure there's no greasy handprints. It could be really quick, could be really simple, could just be me asking questions, could just be me making sure the vehicle's clean. There's challenges with all of this though, right? And we kind of touched on them with the people thing. The dedicated QC person is great, except that it's a hiring challenge. You're almost never going to be able to find this person. Now, never say never, and some of you have found that person, but that person's a real challenge. To hire a quality control person. I don't know what kind of background they have. I don't know what kind of work they do, unless you know them personally. If we have another technician involved, then that's a productivity challenge. I don't like sending my service advisor out to do it because maybe my service advisor has a technical background, maybe they don't. Either way, they got to get around that counter and they got to walk outside or walk out to the bay or wherever it is they got to walk to. There's no easy answer to who's going to do it and how they're going to do it, because every shop is going to be different. But I'm willing to bet that if you solicit everybody's input within your organization, you'll be able to figure this out. Who's going to be the second set of eyes? What responsibilities are they going to have? What is our quality control process? And granted, it's going to be different job to job, but in general, we expect the technician to quality control their own work, to go for a test drive. When they feel like it's okay, it goes to that person over there. That person's going to go for a test drive. They're going to open the hood. They're going to check XYZ. They're going to put it in the air if it's this type of job. Check XYZ. They're going to clean the vehicle, and they're going to sign off on it. Whatever the process is, get your people together, solicit input, and let's figure out who's going to be that second set of eyes in your organization. Road tests, as I said earlier, I think every vehicle, every time. Is it always that easy? No. I get it. Quick, around the block road test for maintenance jobs. A little more than a maintenance job, maybe an alignment. It's going to take a little longer. We got to find a straight level road, a flat road. Good luck. We got to find a road we can road test an alignment on to make sure the steering wheel's straight. Okay, if we're putting tires on a car, we want to make sure that there's no vibration issues. Even if we just did a rotate, we want to make sure there's no vibration issues, right? This is why I say road test every vehicle every time. There's thousands of reasons to do a road test every vehicle every time. And there should be multiple road tests if it's a big job, or especially if it's a comeback. I want multiple road tests. I want multiple people. Maybe it's technician road test first for whatever time is appropriate, and then the quality control individual takes it out for whatever time is appropriate, and then maybe somebody takes it home. Multiple road tests for major jobs and because major jobs is big spends, right? Big spends. So it's major job dollar value wise. And for comebacks, because we want the problem fixed now. Now. It's already been 2 repair attempts. I don't want to go 3, I don't want to go 4. I want to go no more than 2 repair attempts. Only because I have to, because it's back here now. Document your road test route. If you document the route, it ensures that everybody's doing the same type of road test. So we're gonna catch the same types of things. We're not gonna have Johnny Technician who likes to go over there to Burger King and get his burger at lunch, so he's gonna road test a Burger King. Oh, but by the way, that's only a single right-hand turn to get to Burger King. You can't get over 30 miles an hour between here and there. I want designated, documented test drive routes for quick maintenance items, for those longer repair jobs, and for the major repair jobs. Maybe major repair jobs just have a time limit and we don't have a documented route. But I want at least 2 documented routes that have left and right turns, that have bumps, that get the vehicle over 35 miles an hour, and have at least 2 stop signs for braking. All right, document your test drive routes. Who does the road test? I think everybody should. Maintenance jobs, the technician should. Definitely. Does the secondary person have to? No, if the technician is doing it. It's an upsell opportunity too. All right, it's not just quality control, it's for upsell too. Light repair jobs, the technician should be road testing it. Maybe the second set of eyes should be road testing it. Depends on the job, I'll let you decide that. Bigger repairs, 2 people. Both people should be test driving that automobile. The technician, after the repair, when they think it's pretty much done, they can go to the QC person. That QC person has to road test that repair. All right? Comebacks, multiple repair attempts, big jobs, both individuals, maybe even a third individual, going to road test those vehicles to ensure quality. And then when all that's said and done, the best programs have multiple sign-offs. The technician signs off saying, I proudly quality controlled this vehicle, and the QC, second set of eyes, signs off saying, I proudly quality controlled this vehicle. This car is good to go. It creates accountability amongst all of you. If I know that you signed off on that, and your signature's on that, and it's wrong, and I don't catch it, I know we're both in trouble. All right? But I know if you took the pride in your quality control and you signed off on it, I'm going to take pride in my quality control and I'm going to sign off on it. And it creates accountability amongst everybody. How can you do it? Where is it? Look, I've seen business cards, technician business cards. And on the back it says proudly quality inspected by, and they sign off on it and leave it on the dash. I've seen hang tags. Okay? My favorite is the repair order line because it's easy, it doesn't cost us any money. We all deal with repair orders. It's easy to sign electronically now if you're using electronic repair orders. I put a line on the repair order. Proudly quality inspected by technician, service advisor, technician, quality control individual, whoever that is. Okay? It's easy, it doesn't cost anything, shows up on every repair order. I have clients that use a separate quality control document. That's fine. I'm not a big fan of the additional piece of paper because that becomes trash to somebody. I like the repair order line. I just do. Business cards, they look good. Hang tags, they look good. Business cards are less trash than hang tags in a separate document, but they still end up in the trash. The repair order may or may not. It is a record. It's a legal record. Customers tend to keep them, and we just tell the system add a line. So check, see if your system can do that. All right? Write the policy down, as I said. Document the policy. Once you have it written down, after you got everybody's input, You got together, you got the input, you wrote the policy down, maybe you met a second time and went over it and everybody's like, yeah, well, we missed this, or I think we should do that, and you modify it. Once it's the policy you're going to document, then everybody comes together, everybody reads it, they confirm they're bought into it, they sign off on it saying, yes, I support this. Once you do that, you market it to your customer. Maybe you put it in your newsletter. Maybe you stick a blurb on your website. Maybe you write it up. Because we at XYZ Auto are committed to your safety and longevity of the automobile, we have implemented this quality control program. Here's what it is. And you put it on the coffee table, you hang it on the wall, you put it on the counter, whatever it might be, market it to your customer. I mean, who does this today, right? But it's like that little inspected by number 63 in your pocket when you buy that pair of jeans. And once you are able to do all that, you can hold everybody accountable. It's a documented process they signed off on. If we're getting comebacks, and you're tracking comebacks, if we're getting comebacks, hey, guess what? You know what? You can't deny we had comebacks. And you can't deny you knew the quality control process. So either we have a problem with the quality control process, or we have a problem following the process. And from a diagnostic standpoint, we can figure that one out and we can fix it now. Without quality, you got nothing. That's why this is so important. That's why you want a documented process you can hold everybody accountable to. Develop that policy, include everybody in the development of the policy, document it, sign off on it, and enforce it. And then keep up the great work and never stop learning.